Our next speaker is John Kutsch from the
Thorium
Energy
Energy
Alliance.
Alliance.
I remember Thorium Alliance. I just blanked on the word in between.
That's all
But the
right.
good thing is to really hype him up here. I'm a geochemist, and only after hearing John talk first about thorium, like he's going to be doing today, thorium became one of my favorite elements on the periodic table. And surely he's going to be convincing you too. No pressure.
Very good. All right. Well, thanks everyone. Oh, we lost some of our spectators here, but I'm here to bring you some optimism in case you're of the mind that like, oh man, I just want to throw in the towel, not have kids, just watch TV until the Earth spins into the sun. I got some great optimistic stuff for you here. This is a beautiful. Maybe the near-term future is going to be rough, and we have to actually do some work. But the real midterm and long-term is we can have a future of abundance and prosperity for everybody, and we've been given everything we need, right? So let's see if this little thing there. Oh, okay. So quick overview. I like to say that I'm not a monster, so I'm not going to read a slide to you. You guys have eyes, and you can download this stuff later, or I'm going to be happy to send it to you. But thorium, 90th element in the periodic table, and probably the most important thing in terms of this conference is you get it for free when you process rare earths, or most rare earths. And so, and one other thing I like to say sometimes, real quickly, is that it comes in a phosphate mineralization almost all the time. So, depending on what your beliefs are, it's kind of interesting to think that somebody put on Earth this one rock that has phosphates for fertilizer, all the metals you need for an advanced society to function, and all the energy you could use for that society. It's all there in one phosphate mineralization. So that's pretty neat stuff. It's mildly radioactive, so that's why some people consider it a problem, but we consider it a huge opportunity. Let me just kill this thing here. There we go. So again, where does it come from? This is just spend a second on this slide. Basically, it comes from rare earth processing, and Jim Kennedy, after me, will get into this a lot more. But essentially, as you do you beneficiate the material from a rock, you've got to get to metal, right? There's no value before that. We have to get to metals and magnets. Anything before that, you're just becoming a supplier to China, right? So we want to, bring this stuff home, reshore it. And then you can see sort of in the corners like a little orphan facility down there. Well, when the actinides drop out, we have our hands there waiting to take them and to do beneficial, beautiful things with them. So just like a little quick overview, the Thorium Bank, the Thorium Strategic Reserve, the Thorium Storage Facility, whatever you want to call it, it's pretty simple. That basically it takes a mixed slurry of a side stream byproduct, and we drop out the thorium, and then we do a little bit of work in a circuit to take the thorium and turn it into thorium oxide, THO2, and we have a lot of clients who want that. And then there's another very small, simple one-step circuit to take that material and turn it into thorium tetrafluoride. And those of you who are super fans of molten salt nuclear reactors know that thorium tetrafluoride is the thorium and thorium-powered nuclear reactors, and there's a lot of other uses for it. And then the rest of it gets down blended and sent back to the tails because it's very, very low amounts. And so we can definitely keep it way under actionable levels of materials. So this is just a little list of folks that we've signed agreements with and been working with to try and supply thorium. So there's a demand out there. We're not going to have a stranded asset. We're not going to be like, oh, John, you made all this thorium, you put it in a great big pile, and now, we're left with a Superfund site. Why'd you do this to us? Well, that'll never happen because there's already demands. Today, if I could supply 1,000 tons of thorium oxide, clean core thorium energy right now needs 500 tons of thorium oxide. And companies like TerraPower and Copenhagen Atomics need hundreds of tons of thorium tetrafluoride and other stuff. But this is the real stuff. This is what gets me excited. I love the fuel aspect of it because unlike other fuels, it's fertile and not fissile. So it's a fuel and a material in its own class, in its own category. And it behaves in the most unusual manner. Sometimes it behaves like a platinum group metal. Sometimes it behaves like a rare earth metal. And it has temperature characteristics that it's the highest melt point metal in the periodic table. So you can make thoria, which is like alumina, the highest temperature ceramic on Earth, super valuable. We don't make much thoria ceramics anymore, but if you go looking on eBay, they go for a lot of money. Thoria crucibles are the only way to do some advanced alloy. Lighting, some aspects of thorium allow it to conduct electricity really well. That's why you still can get thoriated welding rods, 2 to 4% thoriated welding rods. They're the only welding rods you can use to sustain a spark in high nickel alloys and titanium alloys. And so that should give you an idea of one of the huge properties of thorium is enhanced conduction. So now that's why every microwave you come across has a thoriated magnetron. Every airport you go to has a thoriated magnetron in its radar system. So there's still thorium products being made today, right now, and there's a lot of times you hear about like, well, we're going to do substitutions. There's no substitutions for elements in the periodic table. You can come to something that's close, but it's always going to be second place and probably cost more. And there's some smaller uses of thorium like medicines. Now, the impact of it is huge. Actinium-213 has the highest success rate of any nuclear medicine, and yet we have a hugely difficult time producing it. Just like we have a difficult time producing all medical isotopes because it requires handling, slightly mildly radioactive material in a toasting, milking process. But it's coming around. So that's just to say, and I'll talk your ears off, I mean, there's alloys, there's catalysts. Back in the 90s, every bit of ethylene used to be cracked from natural gas using thoriated catalysts produced by Dow and W.R. Grace. And these companies got out of this great business and of creating the most efficient catalytic cracking systems in the world just because they just didn't want to deal with the headache of dealing with a slightly radioactive material. We've painted ourselves into a corner and we've locked ourselves out of huge opportunities. So in the red there, this is my little example I'm going to give you. This is just one example. If I had all afternoon, I could just give examples after examples, but this is a project that we've been supporting, right? So how do you separate water into hydrogen and oxygen, right? Oh, everyone knows it's electrolysis. Well, there's another way. You can disassociate water using radiolysis, right? And so what if you made a catalyst that used some of the radiological decay nature of thorium, maybe throw in some other secret sauce in there, and also the enhanced conduction ability of a thoriated catalyst to assist your electrolysis. Now, the short story is, because I want to be able to leave a lot of time for Jim to talk about his rare earth mine, but here's the great thing. With the thoriated radiolysis system, we put it into a very big system that looks like a compact heat exchanger. We use electron beam diffusion to bond thousands and thousands of layers of chemically etched plates to make a hugely long, thousands of meters long, tortuous path so that the steam that you introduce is being exposed for a long, long time to this radiolysis. It's also being decomposed through this catalyst. And so you now have a system that can disassociate water into hydrogen for about 35 kilowatts per kilogram. Now today, and you're like, snooze. No, that's unbelievable. So the theoretical limit is 33.3 kilowatts per kilogram. That's if everything was perfect. We're at 35. So now at 35 kilowatts a kilogram, proton exchange membranes, 50, 60 kilowatts a kilogram. $3, $4, $6, $8 a kilogram is what that translates into. When you get to alkaline systems, even more, 60, 66 kilowatts per kilogram. Maybe in the future they can get it down to 50. 35 kilowatts per kilogram at 3 cents a kilowatt. What do you have now? You can do the math. Now you have sub $1 kilogram. Isn't that the holy grail? All these people who say you want a hydrogen economy, it's here today. That's what it looks like. So it's a unitary block of stainless steel. You can see a little cutaway of what it looks like on the inside. These things are highly traceable. They weigh thousands of pounds. No one's going to walk off with it. No one's going to make a dirty bomb out of it. These things aren't going to become mobile and get into the environment and get into your water supply system. They're going to be too valuable to lose track of. And we have a whole host of other things that are highly traceable, super robust, and the sorts of 10x, 100x returns on investment that should more than offset the hand-wringing and worrying that you might put a slight alpha emitter out into the world to do great, great service to humanity. So we don't say there's a valley of death. With thorium, there's only mountains of opportunity. Now, mountains are hard to climb, but when you get to the top, when you get to the summit, you can see into the future, and we're there, and we want to drag all of you with us and see that. Oh, man, when we separate rare earths from coal, I mean, that's a weird one, but, when you separate rare earths from anything, you're going to get these actinides. And, instead of ignoring it or, whistling past the graveyard, you should be like, yeah, I got thorium. Woo, it's the most valuable thing in your thing. The rare earths themselves don't have much value, right? I mean, we all know that. So, you should never mine rare earths. You should mine a primary ore and get rare earths as a benefit. Well, you should also get thorium as a benefit, and it's hugely beneficial to humanity and to abundance and to making your future a better future. So I just want to end there, hand back the balance of my time to Jim Kennedy, but I hope I got you excited about the prospects of having a thorium-powered future. Thank you very much.